Hi. Today, we will see how to implement an input box with a send button on a notification body in a Flutter Android app. Just like we see in the WhatsApp notifications. We will see three approaches. First, when the app is in the foreground. Second, when the app is in the background. And the third, when the app is killed. Okay. Let me quickly run the app and show you a demo so it's easier for you to understand the code later. Okay, see, this is our app. We have a send notification button at the center of the screen. When I click this button, it asks for permission to show a notification. I will allow it. Okay, see, we get a notification. We see some title and content written over the notification. And look, we have a button here called Enter Text. When I click this button, a green-colored input box appears. And there is a send button on the right side, just like we see on the notifications of WhatsApp. Okay. First, we will keep the app in the foreground. I will type something in this input box. And then I will click the send button. See, we get the same text in a Snackbar here. We successfully accessed the text the user entered. Instead of showing a Snackbar, you can do any other meaningful task you want, like API call, or a database transaction, etc. Okay. I will click the button again. We get another notification. Now, the second approach. I will send the app in the background. The app is not killed yet. I can bring it to the front end whenever I want. Let's keep it in the back end. And then write something in our input box, and click the send button. See, we get that same text shown in a Snackbar. So again, we successfully accessed the text the user entered. Okay. Now, the third and the last approach. I will click the button again. We get another notification. Now this time, I will kill the app by swiping it away. So the app is no longer active. And now, I will write something here and click the send button. And see, the app opens fresh, and we can see our text in the Snackbar. So no matter what the state of our app is, whether it is in the front end, background, or in a killed state, we can access the data that was sent via the notification input box. Okay. Now, let's see the code. First, we need to install some packages. Open the pubspec.yaml file. Here, in the dependencies section, write these two lines. These are the packages to handle notifications and runtime permissions. Then click the pub-get button. This will install those packages in your project. This notification package contains a bug. After installing this package, if you run the app, you will see a Java desugaring error. I'm not going into depth explaining what this error is. Instead, I will show you the solution. If you are encountering this desugaring error, follow the next step, otherwise, you may skip it. Okay. Open the Android folder. Then, the app folder. Here, open the build, Gradle, KTS file. Now, in this compile options block, write this line. And then, go all the way down in the file, and write this dependencies block as shown. That's it. Now that the error will not bother us. Okay. Let's see the Dart code now. Open the main.dart file. These are the imports. In the main function, we run an app called myApp. First, we create a global navigator state key. This key will help us manage the view context we use for the Snackbar, especially when the app is killed, then reopens and shows the Snackbar, as we saw in the third approach. This is the myApp class. Here, we create a material app. We define the app's title, theme, and home page. We also pass the navigator key that we had just created. The home page would be My Home Page class. This is the My Home Page class. Here, we create a state for this class named _My Home Page state. First, we have a global variable called pending notification text. We will use this variable to store the user-entered text and display it in the Snackbar. This is the _My Home Page state class. Here, we will actually design our app. First, we have an instance of the Flutter local notifications plugin. When any app loads, this init state function gets called. Here we have the init notification settings function. This is the init notification settings function. Here we configure some initial settings of the notification. And this part is very important. Here, we define which function to call when the user clicks the send button near the input box. We will call this onNotificationResponse function. Now see this piece of code here. This part is called after the app has been killed, when the user has typed text in the input box and clicked the send button. So the flow will go from here. This code indicates that the app was already killed and has now restarted. Here, we check the ID of the Enter Text button that we initially had on the notification. A notification body could have several such buttons. The code needs to determine which button the user clicked and then proceed accordingly. So, for that, such IDs come in handy. We have written this ID below in the code. We will see that later. Then we access the text the user typed and sent, like this. Finally, we show a Snackbar where the text will be displayed. This part is for the third approach we saw earlier, when the app is already killed and reopens after the send button is clicked. Now, let's see the UI. In the build function, we create a scaffold widget upon which we will build other widgets. This scaffold widget has two important attributes. One is the AppBar attribute, and one is the body attribute. In the AppBar attribute, we create the toolbar of the app. In the body attribute, we create the rest of the UI. Here, at the center of the screen, we have an elevated button. The show notification is written on the button. When the button is clicked, we first check whether the user has granted notification permission. If granted, we call the show notification function. If permission is not already granted, we request it. This is the ask permission function. Here, we request notification permission from the user. If the user grants permission, we call the show notification function. Otherwise, we show a Snackbar that says, permission denied. Now, this is the show notification function. First, we configure the notification channel attributes, including ID, name, and description. And this is where we create that Enter Text button on the notification. See. Here, we give an ID to the button. This is the same ID that we had used earlier in the code above. Using the Show User Interface attribute is essential. Set it to true. Otherwise, the send button will do nothing. And when the user clicks the Enter Text button, we see this enter message input box. Then, we store all those configurations in this variable. Then we call this Flutter local notifications plugin.show function. This function shows a notification on our device. Here, we pass the numeric ID, title, content, and the configuration variable. Then see this. This is the function that gets called when the app is in the foreground or background, and the user clicks the send button on the notification. Here, we cross-check the ID of the button. Then extract the text the user typed. Then call the show Snackbar function to display the text. Finally, this is the function that shows a Snackbar. We need to use the navigator key here in the context section. So that's it. The link to download this code is given in the description box under this video. Thanks for watching.